The 10 weirdest animals that truly exist. See on for a lot of information. 10. I affirmative. Perhaps the foremost irregular creature is that the I affirmative, whose name started from Malagasy people expression, hey, to do to not say the name of a horrendous, mystical creature. Currently, in all probability the ugliest creature on the earth, this lone very little primate is likewise one among the foremost stunning. Discovered clearly in Madagascar, it's 14 to 17 inches long, with a protracted tail. Its body is shrouded in long, lean hairs that reach in shading from dark to dark with whitish guard hairs. Its face is fox-like, however its teeth become systematically sort of a rat's. The affirmative utilizes localization sort of bat and might descend trees carelessly sort of a squirrel. Its eyes are spherical, gazing and orange or tan. The creature to boot incorporates a specific third finger it uses to stay into pits it's created with its teeth and pull out grubs. Locals consider it is underhanded and kill it forthwith, and therefore the affirmative is jeopardized. Yes, eyes are troublesome to stay in imprisonment, however they're found in a very few zoos all throughout the earth, as well as the Cincinnati and City facilities and therefore the Port Zoo within the UK. 9. Giraffa camelopardalis. The Giraffa camelopardalis has an especially long tongue and might truth be told lick its own ears, creating it associate degree exceptionally uncommon creature. Is it a camelopard? Is it an equine? Is it the consequence of a camelopard and an equine obtaining to a fault comfortable? Otherwise, known as the zebra giraffe, the Giraffa camelopardalis is actually an instantaneous relation of the camelopard but is not any reasonably 0.5 breed. This uncommon and peculiarly tempting creature is regarding 4.9 feet tall at the shoulder and around 8 feet long. Females are a small amount taller. Its neck is long, however not as long as its relation, and it's a sleek, boring brown or rosy earthy colored coat and people equine stripes on the legs and rump. Male, however not feminine Giraffa camelopardalis have ossicones on their heads. The creature is imperiled and is determined to be commonly simply within the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Giraffa camelopardalis is jeopardized and a most favorite at no matter purpose it shows up in zoos. Facilities that highlight the Giraffa camelopardalis incorporate the Bronx Zoo, the Columbus Facility and Marine Museum, the Urban Center Facility, the Blank Park Facility in Des Moines, and the St. Louis Zoo. 8. Weirdest animals. Megamouth shark. Perhaps the foremost uncommon creature of the ocean, the megamouth shark, gets its name from its tub-like mouth. This shark, Megachasma pelagios appearance fearful with its tub-sized mouth, however it is a serene microscopic fish feeder similar as unerect and whale sharks. Found unambiguously in 1976, it's a slippery species that lives somewhere down within the hotter waters of the relative multitude of world seas. In distinction to totally different sharks, it's something however a hero swimmer, incorporates a delicate body and seems to use the least energy to stay itself moving. It's a white abdomen and is brown, boring blue or dim at the highest. It to boot has abnormal, conspicuous lips. The mouth of the megamouth will be over 4 feet wide and has upwards of 50 lines of very little teeth within the jaw and 75 lines within the lower. The shark will develop up to 18 feet and weigh over 2 tons. Its preservation standing is the least concern, but at that time another time, researchers do not extremely have the foggiest plan the amount of megamouth sharks there are. 7. Weirdest animals. Placental mammal. Pangolins, maybe the strangest creature, is likewise one among the foremost handled heat purebred animals. This reality. This creature, abundant within the news these days for its conceivable job as a vector for COVID-19, accompanies its own defend. Otherwise, known as the bedded insect uptake animal, the pangolin's skin is canvassed in scales made from albuminoid, that is the terrible stuff that produces up different creatures' hair, hide, hooks and fingernails. It's the most heat purebred creature identified to own these forms of scales, that has created it an attentiveness of thought, each nice and awful. Cookery and surroundings annihilation has created the overwhelming majority of the 6 placental mammal species imperiled, essentially jeopardized or defenseless. This can be valid despite the actual fact that the creature secures itself by twisting up in a very ball and introducing its sharp-edged scales once it's undermined. Pangolins, that are singular animals, are nighttime and simply eat termites and insects. But they're troublesome to stay in imprisonment. Zoos just like the Brookfield Facility, the Taipei Facility, and therefore the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute ahead Royal, Virginia has many. 6. Weirdest animals. Furry frog. The furry frog, in all probability the strangest creature, wherever the blokes of the species placed on a shaggy presentation come back reproducing season. Hair and conceal are commonly characteristics of heat purebred creatures and maybe many bugs, but they are nowhere seen on creatures of land and water and reptiles. The bristly frog, otherwise known as the wolverine or vileness frog, may be a special case. The blokes of those frogs, that develop around 4 to 5 inches long, foster ostensibly hairs on their sides and their thighs throughout the rearing season. They are not truly hairs, however, dermal papillae, and that they have corridors that assist the frog with holding atomic number 8. They work tons of just like the gills the frog has, whereas it is a fledgling. The male frog would require the extra atomic number 8 in lightweight of the actual fact that once the feminine lays eggs within the water, he is the one who watches them. One more strange issue regarding this frog is that its retractile paws, kind of like Wolverine. The hooks are created out of bone, and that they should be reverted if the frog breaks the bones in its own toe and permits the paw to tear through its skin. This frog is found in West Africa, quite in Cameroon, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Nigeria, Gabonese Republic and Equatorial Guinea. But the frog is not jeopardized, it's pursued and ingested. 5 weirdest animals fly. The fly are the scale of an enormous musca domestica and feed simply on blood, and are in all probability the foremost off-the-wall creature. Found in tropical Africa, the fly is in command of spreading resting ill. This is not what throws off everyone's ambience, as various creepy crawlies are illness vectors. What makes this fly strange is that the offspring creates within the mother's female internal reproductive organ. And therefore the mother takes care of it with milk. These regenerative systems ought to have an area with heat purebred creatures. The female fly simply lets every of her eggs become treated successively, and therefore the kid goes through its larval stages whereas it's in her female internal reproductive organ. Whereas the offspring is making, the mother takes care of it with a substance particularly like milk, despite the actual fact that it's hitherto in her female internal reproductive organ. The fly mother then, at that time, brings forth the offspring once it accomplishes its third larval stage. The offspring then, at that time, slithers into the bottom, turns into an insect and lives for a few months on the sustenance it's gotten from its mammy. 4 weirdest animals. Ornithorhynchus anatinus. The Ornithorhynchus anatinus may be the foremost odd creature out there. Prune their thick coat to feature air bubbles that move as protection within the cool streams wherever they chase. Everybody cares the Ornithorhynchus anatinus, but that does not build it any less weird. While not a doubt, the lot of people resolve in regard to the current creature, the lot of abnormal it becomes. Obviously, the Ornithorhynchus anatinus incorporates a bill sort of duck, webbed feet like associate degree otter, eyes sort of a jawless vertebrate and a tail sort of beaver. It's a heat purebred animal that lays eggs, and therefore the male has poison spines on its rear feet. Its hide sparkles underneath dark lightweight, and it discovers prey through electrical signs got by receptors on its bill. Simply the left ovary within the feminine Ornithorhynchus anatinus works. At the purpose once it had been initial intimate with by Europeans, they thought the Ornithorhynchus anatinus was a phony just like the Fijian imaginary being. The port of entry facility is that the main facility in America to own an Ornithorhynchus anatinus show. Others incorporate the Taronga facility and therefore the Lone Pine Possum Sanctuary in Australia. 3 weirdest animals. Blobfish. Perhaps the strange creature has found in water. The blobfish doesn't has the sac has found in many varieties of fish. This pinkish white fish has the substance of an associate in a nursing an unsuccessful senior person. Likewise, expresses results of the fat head. It's found among the profound waters off New Ireland and Australia. To be low worth, the blobfish does not really tally. Its most document a photograph. At the aim once its force up from the profundities of the ocean to a fault quick it experiences a such injury that it falls into a mass. Most blobfish that a unit has caught a unit several foot long and weighs around 4 pounds. It's presumptively a snare hunter or primarily gobbles up any food that approaches enough. 2 weirdest animals. Sponge. Some profound water wipes can live to be over a try of 100 years knowledgeable. They are altogether chance the foremost uncommon creature, being comprised of general cells. The wipe is one in every of those marine creatures that looks as if a plant but isn't. For sure, the wipe cannot be same to tally a plant the foremost quantity as a living being that born in from house. Comprised of general cells mixed with channels and pores, this creature has no abdomen connected framework. It doesn't have a mind or a sensory system. It doesn't have a circulatory framework. Moreover, it's no inner organs. Besides, it's simply alive on the grounds that the ocean flows bring it food and variate and eliminate aspect effects. The wipe was just the foremost creature to chop loose the conventional route shared by each creature and was on the face of it around up to 750 million years previous. However, wipe life is shockingly exceptional. Then the investigation of these animals is termed spongiology. One weirdest animal's invertebrate. The invertebrate, the strangest creature out there, is additionally one in every of the toughest and may get on my feet to the foremost outrageous conditions. Likewise, explicit is a result of the water bear, organism and leaf piggy. This minute animal is variety of indestructible. It's likewise everywhere the place. It's among the Antarctic and in waterways, it's even endure being presented to space itself. Besides, it'll survive temperate.